The Frida's Cleaning Service is a small family-owned business established in 2003. With over 17 years of professional, high quality, and greatly satisfied service, the Frida's Cleaning Service will get the job done. Specializing in sanitizing your home, business, post construction, and commercial cleaning, no job's too big or small. See for yourself and give us a call 567 249 9172. La Frida's Cleaning Service. Our reputation is always spotless.
Hi, this is TV comedy impressionist Christopher G from the other side of the pond saying hi, and I love the Queen Silvy show.
Today on the Queen Silvy Show, from United Kingdom, world-renowned, award-winning contemporary artist whose work has been exhibited in famous art galleries all over the world. Hear the amazing life journey, story of success from Dr. Iva Troj.
Show, tune in at 11, good laugh, good vibe, that's for sure. Get smooth with Tim, get smooth with Tim. They have you rolling like you popped the pill. Once you hear the show, you ain't gonna want it to end. Get creative with the sounds you can make with your mouth. Reaching all over the world, Queen Silvy in the house. Award-winning show, got the #1 spot, look out. It's the Queen Silvy Show, 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 look out.
Hi, this is Joe Mass. You are listening to the Queen Silvy Show. You are now part of the royalty.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live, it's time for the silky smooth sounds of Smooth Tim and Her Majesty herself, Queen Silvy.
Hey, this is Smooth Tim, and thank you for dropping in with us on another terrific Tuesday on the multiple award-winning Queen Silvy Show. It is now my absolute pleasure to introduce to you the world's sexiest granny, everyone's favorite comedian, the Queen herself, Queen Silvy.
Yes, it is me, Queen Silvy, on this terrific Tuesday for the multiple award-winning The Queen Silvy Show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in this great world today. I am honored and glad that you are here joining us for some greatness. We always provide the best in live entertainment, talents, and topics from around the world just for you. How are you, Smooth?
I'm doing terrific on this Tuesday, Queen. And might I say you're looking exceptionally beautiful this morning?
Okay.
Anyhow.
Thank you.
Yeah. announcements. Our hearts and prayers are going out to the world, especially, excuse me, to the people of Europe as they're going through their grief with the loss of the Queen, who's been there like forever and ever and ever.
I love her.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. She's fantastic. And also to the people of Ukraine, who seem to be making some progress in kicking Russia back out and telling them, go back home and let's live life in peace, brother.
That's right.
Absolutely. All right. And if you would, please take a moment, look at the top of the screen. You're going to see scrolling multiple ways to get a hold of Queen Silvy and myself, but more importantly, go to thequeensylvyshow.com. Go over to the contact tab, scroll on down to that, and drop us your email, and then you'll be hooked up with everything that we're doing, and we'll keep in contact with you. You need a little bit of prayer request for anything going on? Hey, we're here for you. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's right. And because you are worth it, Foxy 5 Jewelry, sassy, elegant, and affordable fashionable jewelry and accessories for you and or that's someone special. That's right. Get a hold of Monica Wright on Facebook or go to her website, www.foxy5jewelry.com. Also, how your lawn looks says one heck of a lot about you, so put that lawn care maintenance into the hands of a professional who really cares. That is Top Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio. They are reasonable, reliable, and insured. They have commercial residential services available for you all year long. Go ahead and give them a call or a text for a free estimate, 419-708-0005. And another way to keep up with the Queen and myself is to go to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And while you go to YouTube, just simply type in The Queen Silvy Show in the search engine, and you'll get the results of all 3 of our shows, as well as some other projects that the Queen and I are working on. You're going to thoroughly enjoy it, so while you're there, please subscribe. Analytics from last week's show: Canada, Ireland, Jamaica,
Yes.
New Zealand, the Bahamas, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Thank you for tuning on in.
Thank you very much indeed. Matter of fact, if you are watching this live, I want you to know Smooth and myself, we love and appreciate you. And if you're watching this later on an archive,
our love is everlasting.
Our love is everlasting. We love and appreciate you. I'm glad you are here on this terrific Tuesday. As I said before and will say again, you are in store for some super greatness here on with my first guest. But the lines are open. You're more than welcome to call in and ask our guest a question. Give a shout out or holler at Smooth and myself, and that number is 817-602-0577. That is the number to the Queen Silvy Show. So what I'd like to do right now, before I begin my conversation with my first guest, what I'd like to do is I'd like to share some motivational words from the Queen Silvy Show to you. You know, there's no rules to creativity. Everything which you can imagine is real. That's because creativity is magic. Art is an irreplaceable way of understanding and expressing the world. And in the mind of every artist, a masterpiece awaits. So create something that's universally beautiful. That, my friend, is art. That's right. And those are some motivational words from the Queen Silvy Show to you. Yes, they just sent the message. Are you going to do shout outs? Listen, you know, Queen Silvy will represent and give some shout outs, but we are going to get on with my guest here today. She is a world renowned, award winning contemporary artist whose work has been exhibited in famous galleries worldwide. Recently commissioned by Xbox to paint an epic Renaissance style painting as part of the Halo Infinite Masterpiece Anniversary Celebration and Launch. Woo! She's a true successful queen, sharing her extraordinary works of art, amazing life journey, and the story of success. From United Kingdom, I introduce to you Dr. Iva Troj. Yeah!
Hello.
I'm telling you, I almost bit my
God.
Oh, I almost bit my tongue talking about you. And that was nothing.
Wow.
Listen, hey, you know
such an
something?
honor.
Thank you. I'm honored that you took the time to be on the Queen Silvy Show. Listen, I've been studying you, learning some things that I have to say right now before I go any further. You know, that just learning about Iva Troj and her magnificent talents. I respect your life experiences. I admire your creative imagination and I'm
Thank you.
captivated by your works. Hey, where's my audience? Audience. Hmm. I charge my audience the night before so I can hit that button a lot if I want to today because it's well deserving. I know for you it began early. You were born in communist Bulgaria during the Cold
Yeah.
War. I can't even imagine little old me back then at during that time. But for you, what was that like for you and your family?
Um, my family, I mean, I think I was luckier than a lot of other people because my family is incredibly loving. I have the best parents in the world. And despite the fact that I do have memories of falling asleep to people like throwing each other through windows, um, I do remember mostly just being like surrounded by loving people with lots of demands on me. I mean, crazy demands, but just because they, wanted the best for me and my siblings.
Well, that's good.
Um, and yeah, it's like my mom is a oncologist, and my dad is basically was supposed to be an engineer, but he never finished his degree because he had to pay for like and raise us and pay for our education. And there was even like a point of time when my dad just lost his marbles, just struggling. So he took a job at a like a nuclear facility, mining facility, just to put me through school, and worked there for 3 years and ended up having a really bad heart because of that. And to this day, I don't think he understands how much that whole thing has meant for me my entire life. That they did these sacrifices. I mean, I wish they didn't have to. But I think like it was that little thing that kept them going, just thinking that in all this gray, surroundings and crazy weird reality that we were living in, that was very delusional and very we knew that the whole thing was just a setup and stupid, but it was like there was nothing we can do but educate ourselves.
Yes.
So yeah, that's how I was raised.
Let me get
Like,
this straight. Your dad was mining uranium?
yeah, for like a couple of
Wow.
years just to put me through
Oh my
school. And
God. So he
Oh,
probably
I
got really
know
sick.
he was actually
yeah.
working the electrical system, like he was above ground, but still it really impacted his health.
Toxins, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like this whole area was really polluted, but we
Wow.
still ate the fruit and drank the water. So I don't know.
Wow. You know
Kind of
what?
crazy when I think about it now.
Yeah, well, you can speak about it. You're a strong woman, and you can laugh about some things, but at the time, that was not funny. And, hats off to
Uh,
your dad, your parents, very loving and supportive of their family. You're right. You are one of the lucky, blessed ones because some didn't come
yeah,
out of that. Some didn't make it out of that. I know strength and talent is within your family. A great deal of knowledge. Look at how you
absolutely.
survived and inspiration. A lot of it also come from your grandmother. I heard. I mean,
Yes, and I wasn't laughing, honestly. It's a nervous laughter that I experienced because it's like not very easy to talk about these things, you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it feels a little strange. But because I wrote a book and I've been mulling these things over for so long. So the nervous laughter just helps a little to for me
Well,
to
it's
like open
very
up and talk about it.
understandable. Laughter does a lot of things. It's the best medicine, if you ask me. But did you always know that this is what you wanted to do? That you were going to have a successful career as a contemporary artist?
Nope.
You,
No, no, absolutely not.
you
I
didn't.
just
Not even
because
at 14
honestly
years
it's
old?
oh, the goal was there, but when I was growing up, there was I don't think there was like a living female artist where in the entire town where I went to school and where I grew up. So I never actually understood that women could be artists until I was a lot older. And for I actually lived and studied in the US when I was about 19, 20,
Oh,
and for a couple of years. And that was, I think, when something clicked in my brain where I realized that I had this amazing education that I received, and I was like, I could actually be an artist. So I had to come to the like the other side of the Berlin Wall that at that point was being dismantled, to kind of realize that women can be artists and I can actually do this.
Hey, we women are
It was quite a
queens.
shock.
You know, that's really kind of horrible that you think that you had obvious talent in your hand from day one, and that nobody really picked up on that and said, you know what, this is a remarkable gift, and let's accentuate this.
I better to
Yeah, they
differ
did
with
pick
Smooth
up on
right
it,
there
actually.
too.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but they
No.
did pick up on it. But it was like the talent machine. You know, I went to one of those schools that don't exist anymore, where you start really early and you compete with like 4,000 kids or something, and then for 20 places. And I did go to one of those schools when I, starting. It's actually a university type of education. It's 5 years, and it's totally like full of ideology, but they teach you everything about like the practical side of art. So I had that in my baggage when I, in my, backpack when I came to the US. So they picked up on it, but just that like they, automatically, if you were a girl, and there were very few of us at that school, actually, I was one of 4 girls, I think, that entire
Wow.
year.
Isn't that a
And
shame?
that
Wow.
was, so that was what was interesting, is that yeah, we did art and we studied art, but we girls became teachers, art teachers. They did not become artists.
Mm-hmm.
Funnily enough, I actually tried to track the people that I went to school with, and I think I am one of 2 people that actually do art internationally now. Of all
Wow.
of these people,
That
everyone
is
else
so
is doing
great.
something else,
That is
which
really
is
great.
quite
That is
crazy.
great. I mean, when you said just 4 girls in the whole school, listen, this was when you were like
No, in
14.
that class, in
Oh,
that
in that class.
school year, yeah.
Well, you have made a heck of a difference, and whatever your parents saw, I'm sure they are so proud, because you are carrying out what they've seen in you the whole time. I mean, contemporary. Okay, no, I'm not gonna go there, but you from Bulgaria. You've stayed like 20 some years in Sweden, and now you're in United Kingdom. But often knowing you would go back to school and get an education, then you would go back and get more
Yeah.
education. I'm like, that is fantastic.
We have a little bit of a
Delay.
interruption. I'm hoping. Oh, yeah.
There
I
you're
hope
back.
you can hear me.
We got you.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I've ever stopped studying, honestly. I think I stopped for a period of time when I was working corporate jobs, because I actually went back to school when I was around 40 to get a second bachelor, and then I did a master's degree, and I did started doing research. But before that, I was doing corporate jobs because I was raising a son on my own. I was a single mother, and I just didn't see any opportunities. I didn't even think that it was possible for me in Sweden to be a professional artist full time. But then once I was back in school, I just never left.
That's all right. That's
So
all
I ended
right.
up doing some independent research recently, like for about 3 years, on artistic failure. And so yeah, I got my PhD in artistic failure this February.
Well, that's great, but you are
It
in
was
no
well,
way.
it's a art history PhD, but in philosophy.
That's all right.
That was my focus.
That's all right. Contemporary art is the term used for art of the present day, but for somebody that's unaware, tell them why you think, anyways, that contemporary art is important.
Why contemporary? Oh, you ask a big question to me. Because I was reading a really interesting article, but one of the bigger names in contemporary curating, people that are responsible for exhibitions and in museums and so on. And there was one of these curators said something that really resonated with me about how like artists in general are very sensitive to undercurrents in society. So if you want to know what the future will look like, ask an artist. And
Mm-hmm.
I so agree with this, because this is one of the reasons I do research, is because I want to be more, kind of have I wouldn't say control, it's not the right word, but I have a little bit more dedication to to that, area of knowledge where you kind of feel what's going on in society, and you have this incredible urge to change things. And I think artists are one of the very few people in society that kind of engage in things that are very difficult to experience and discuss. I mean, I always say, people ask me why I deal with these very topics in my art that are really tough to talk about and to discuss in general. And I always say, well, it's like, I call it the price of admission. Is like when you feel something through and through, that's when you actually can do art. Is I was doing a comic, like comic book illustrations about childhood sexual abuse, and it was based on a real story, and it's a graphic novel that I'm working on. It's not my story, it's somebody else's. And I think I like cried through the entire first month of doing this, and it was worth it, because the end result was me really tapping into that and making beautiful art so people can take the story and experience it themselves. And I kind of always say, if the discourses that you're seeking to dismantle are hiding in the gutter, that's where I need to go. So that's one of the major reasons why I think contemporary art is important. But I think in many cases, people confuse contemporary art as like the artists that make art and the contemporary art world. Those are very, very different realities. And I think that's why people kind of don't feel connected to contemporary art, because they imagine that contemporary art world, and for them that's like elitist and it's like exclusive and it doesn't talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
But that is like, I don't see myself as part of that world at all. Like I am like the one that makes and builds things, and seeks to dismantle things that don't work in society. I'm not. I don't think I've ever really felt a part of the contemporary art world as such, because it's like very kind of, I talk to people. I don't want to be separated from them.
Right. Well, I understand that, no one can make you. You have to be you and accept you for you. I love, man, I was looking at your work. Listen, let me just say this. I am not one who knows the language of art and can sit here and ask you questions in that language. I can only be me and tell you how amazed I am when I stare at your artwork. You use a combination, like oil. Do you use pencil, pens sometimes, and mix
Yes.
things up when that? Because you can make a shadow look like a shadow, like sometimes scary. I'm like, wow, it really looks. You bring life to your canvas. That's what I'm trying
Thank
to
you.
say.
Oh my God, it's so. It feels amazing to hear you saying this. I mean, I like, one of the best compliments I've ever gotten is like, and I get it quite often actually. It really warms me up, is when people go and like, oh, this is like museum art.
It's more than museum art. Are you kidding?
It's like, but that is what is really sweet, because it's not museum art, but it's like, that's what I think people mean, that it's just like, oh, it's museum art made for me. you
Big
know
compliment. Big compliment.
it's a huge compliment. It's
Yes.
really, really huge.
Because you display all emotions, and I mean like sadness, pride, rage, love, hate, mystery. I mean everything you can find in there, and an animal every now and then too. I don't get that, but I love animals, so I take it too. But does this
I
come
mean,
easy for you? Is it easy or difficult for you when you are
oh,
creating this masterpiece?
oh man, it's you know what? It's difficult when people get involved. It's like, it becomes really easy if you just leave me. Like, I remember the creator of Linux system was talking about his childhood, and he's like, yeah, his mother would like let him be in the closet, and she just throw some dry spaghetti at him. Like,
Wow.
that's literally how I am sometimes. Like, I have this beautiful studio that I'm sitting in, um, and I have to remind myself that there is a world outside. I really I just sit here, and I'm just like,
Everything you
yeah.
need is there, right?
Yes, I have everything, and there is a whole It's a whole place outside here where people play games. It's called Dice Saloon, in Brighton, where I live and work, and people just playing. So I can always go outside and get a coffee and talk to people. You know, it's brilliant.
That's all right. I want to show a video, and it's not long, but it's enough to just mesmerize on some of the great works from Dr. Eva Troj. So sit
Oh,
back
wow.
and check this out right here on the Queen Silvy Show.
Wow.
Wow.
I feel
Okay.
so moved.
Okay, listen. The first question: did I do
Go.
justice and put the right picture? I don't want you to be like, "Oh my God, that one wasn't my picture." I'm like, no,
No,
those.
yeah. No, they're all mine, but some of them are like from many years ago, which is quite moving to see.
That is so amazing.
I got a question. Is how do
Yes.
you? A couple of questions actually. Is how do you decide on subject matter? Because I saw you have a couple of different ideals in you in or what do we want to call it, expressions inside your painting. And the other one is besides being in museums, obviously here and there, do you have your stuff in private collections and corporate collections?
Yes, I do. I mean, I do a lot of commissions as well, and things like, because I like the stories that people want to tell through me. A lot of times, if I don't like the story they want to tell, I'm not gonna take the commission. That's literally how it works. And but I've had one or two of these paintings that you showed actually come from originally starting as a commission and me going further with that. But it's a lot of just regular folks buy my art. I try to keep like a good range, so regular, people, as in like people that don't usually buy art. I don't mean, but just people that work in hospitals and have bought my art. And if people contact me or send me a message, even like if somebody's daughter is learning how to be an artist and they have a question, I always answer. I've made This is why my birthday, I literally just book time to like sit down and answer messages. I answer everybody because I don't take people time for granted ever, and people's attention for granted, and try to kind of react to everyone and everything with humility and grace, because that's like the smallest thing, the minimum of what a person should do, I think, in these situations.
Yes.
So if somebody contacts me and they say, I really want your art, I will like make sure they get it, even if it's like it doesn't, they don't have a lot of money.
Wow.
And I will sometimes even make a piece for them.
Wow.
One more question. Do you freehand sketch before you paint, or do you just start painting?
I sketch a lot, and I a lot of times I throw stuff away a lot. I sketch and I have like an idea, and then I would, for example, draw. Sometimes these sketches are really, really advanced. They're like very, because I get carried away. And then I will have an idea, but I wouldn't know what to do. So I will like photograph them or scan them and put them in the computer and play around a little, and then I'll start sketching again. So once I start painting, it could actually go really fast.
Wow. So
So I
listen.
just finished the painting, and it was like took me 3 days.
Once you have the idea down,
for about a year.
there you go.
Yeah. That's so amazing. You are an amazing queen, Iva Troj, right here on the Queen Silvy Show. But this is
I'm so happy to be here.
this is what I want to know. Coming from this as a young kid in Bulgaria, going through the trials and tribulations that we go through in life in was it Sweden, coming to where you are and going through what you're going through. I can see in between in there haters that don't want to see this beautiful girl succeed. I can see people that want to cop your style because they think they got it like that, but no one can be you, you know. But and when you say that you like being in your room all to yourself, because I have my she shed that I like to be to myself on, I think that art for you is like therapy. You're so freaking good at it.
Thank you. It's I think it's more than that. I think it's I don't like it's a calling, but it hasn't always been that way. It's like how do I say this? It's like how I think it's how I heal myself. So in a way, it is therapy. You were right about that.
Yeah.
When it comes to the haters, I mean, this is how Halo Infinite played such a major role in my life. I'll tell you why. Because my work can be incredibly detailed, and like when you look at it on Instagram, it kind of looks a little bit too good to be true. So, you know, if somebody just browsing by, they will like attack me. That used to happen a lot of times. And before I figured out that it's a good thing to put the sketches and the development process step by steps out, I would just put the paintings, and then I got trolled like crazy. And he really, because it's my legacy, my life's work, I used to like cry myself to sleep. I even had a stalker at some point, like a guy who used to attack me all the time, and I had to actually hire lawyers to get rid of him. He was horrible. And that was because they would call me a cheat, that I can't paint, because they thought that was like collage work, right? Something put in Photoshop. But when Halo happened, the whole world could see that I can actually paint. So they did me such a massive favor. Honestly, it's like nobody can question that. I can literally just go, man, and just look there.
Okay, wait.
Okay, I'll wait.
Okay, so I have this surprise that I want to show you, and I'm going to explain this to you because we're grandparents, so we're always with children or our neighbors' children. So when our grandchild comes over and plays with the kid next door, we do what we call play school, and we let them be the teachers. So we sit down, and they may want to do gym one day, they want to do spelling, but this was art. So what we did was we showed them your pictures, and we talked about the work that you did. And so when they played school, they had art class. So real briefly, I'm going to show you.
And of course, they know Halo. So
yeah, they know Halo Infinite. So I don't know if these characters will help you, but I love sparking curiosity and inspiring our youth. They are our future. So I'm going to show you what they made playing school after we showed them your pictures.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's called effort. You may see them on an exhibit somewhere. You just don't know, but it has to start somewhere, right?
I'm gonna send some to Sam at Xbox. He's gonna cry his eyes out. Honestly, we all cried when we were doing this project, including the client, because they didn't think that was possible. You know that we painted this. I mean, I painted together with my assistant this piece for like five weeks.
Yes, amazing.
5 weeks.
And what we're talking about is what Iva Troj, Dr. Queen Iva Troj, was recently commissioned by Xbox to paint an epic, and it is epic. You have a couple of shots you can show. and it's Epic by Xbox. The Renaissance style painting as part of the Halo
Hang
Infinite
on just a second. We'll show that
masterpiece anniversary celebration and launch. Man, that word already just says big, and it was big.
That should be this picture here, I believe.
Because you do
There we
artwork
are.
that's
This
like,
one, right, Queen?
yes, is that you,
Yes, that's me.
girl? How many hours a day did you put into this?
I didn't sleep in 2 months. I mean, I think total maybe 60 hours of sleep in 2 months. Honestly, I would work like between 10 and 10 painting, and then I'll go home and do some of the digital painting, so I get approval for the actual paintings. It was because in gaming in the industry, they do like everything last, it's everything gets, when it launches happen, you might be working like 2 seconds before that. So I had to do all this painting during nights. I'd sleep 3 hours and they'll go back in.
Wow.
So that was going on for about 5 weeks. Intense.
Look how big
Most
that
of
is.
the figures were painted the last 2 weeks, actually, the last 10 days, 2 weeks.
Now you do miniature. You've done the smallest miniature size, but this is like a freaking whole wall. How big is that?
6 by 3 meters, which is about 30 by 20 feet.
Wow.
It covered the whole wall in South Gallery in London.
Wow, that is so great. I mean, how did you visualize all of that? And matter of fact, inside this painting is clues to the game, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of Easter eggs as well, and a lot of things that were kind of like a shocker, because that was the whole thing. The way they introduced the whole project to me was like, if I do this, I'm either lazy. If I don't do this, I'm either lazy or stupid. So I have to. They said to me, it actually is in my contract. They said to me that they wanted this piece to be in my style, but they wanted me basically to take the entire gaming industry to a level where it's recognized as an art form. And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah. Okay.
How did they find you?
See.
How did you end up being the chosen one?
Well, there were a lot of people on the list. I think they were looking for the very, very rare combination of skills, which is being able to do traditional art, which in itself is quite rare nowadays, but also somebody who is equally good at doing digital art, because I spent a lot of time, as a single mom, being a design management lead and innovation lead and IBM and other places. I'm pretty good at that stuff. And because that digital part was needed for the approval process, every figure is like animated and digitally collaged until I created something that they will like go, okay, that's what it's going to look like. And there's like about 130 total figures in that painting.
I have a question.
Wow.
Now, after you signed the NDA, is that when they gave you the clue so you could put the Easter eggs in?
Like most of it happened the last 2 weeks, but the NDA had to be signed even before. This was the funny story actually about this whole process. Where I am now in my studio, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's part of this Dice Saloon, which used to be a church, was the only building that could host a canvas this big.
Wow.
So, but considering this whole thing was such a secret, so if anything got leaked, we would have been clubbed to death. Like, honestly, it was like, because the whole world, nobody knew what this was going to be.
Wow.
Xbox always does something on their anniversary, something that's like epic, but it's always a secret before it's released, right? And so we were doing it in cubicles in the actual gaming hall. So the people outside were actually talking about it. They were like, oh, we wonder what they're gonna do. And we were like painting it inside. And like mole people, literally like mole people, me and my assistants, my 3 beautiful assistants. I don't know, that would have been impossible without
Yes,
them.
what are their names? That's part of the
Ellie
team.
James, who is my favorite person. I employed her after Halo. She works for my assistant. Tash Wells, another beautiful young lady who is so talented. And Ollie Redding, who is an old friend of mine, who is like one of the best painters I've ever met. And the reason why I got away of hiring him is because they were so afraid that I might get COVID. And then like the whole project, like there was, turning into a multi-million project, already money spent, that would go, bananas. So he was basically the backup, but then he was amazing in that last couple of last couple of days where I just had to get everything going. He and I are in a lot of these pictures just finishing the last bits at the actual gallery when the piece was already, hanging on the wall.
That's a lot of trust.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of
I
trust
mean, there
in
were
you.
2 other people as well that were helping with the other piece that we did with the Louvre as well. There was Zoe and there's this guy Jay. So there were some people. It could not be done by not one person at all. But I had to, because it had to be in my style, I actually had to paint the actual thing. But my assistant did an amazing job, like color blocking, preparing surfaces and
That is so
doing
awesome.
like some of the backgrounds.
So you were the project manager.
Oh yeah.
Basically, you were the project manager.
I was like everyone's mother. I fed them, and I bought wine when it was necessary.
That's all right. Well, they listened and behaved very well because it is definitely a masterpiece. It was just recently in Paris. Smooth is gonna. I don't want to pronounce it incorrectly. Tell me the galleries that it was in.
It's a Louvre.
What is it?
Oh, the Louvre. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was the piece. There was a second piece that we made that was smaller, in parallel when we were finishing the bigger one. That was in the Louvre in Paris, almost at the same time as the one in Sachi in December. And the whole thing, the launch it cannot be delayed because it had to be released on the December 8th, because the creators of Halo Infinite are 343 Industry, and December 8th is the 343rd day of the year.
So it was all simultaneously done and coordinated.
Yeah, so it was this thing that actually had to happen, even if we somebody,
They said no pressure, right? No pressure. Just get it done.
Would you say that this was your most challenging work overall throughout your career?
One of them, yeah. But what is really interesting is what you learn about yourself in these situations, because all of a sudden I was like doing things that I didn't know it was possible. And I think a lot of my assistants felt the same way. They were like painting with the speed of light, and you just didn't have, you're so jacked up on adrenaline and like this desire to just create something that you just, and because it's a do or die situation, you just do it, and all of a sudden you discover that you can actually do things that you had no idea you could do.
Well, I want
that
to
was
show.
For me. I do that. That's why it broke me. But I, physically, I had to like do yoga for 2 months to repair myself. But honestly, I'll do it any second. If you ask me now, I'll do it again.
Wow.
Because of that kind of feeling of just pushing yourself. You're just going, wow, what the human brain and body can do if you put it in these extreme situations. It's just mind-blowing.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, besides
Absolutely.
the lucrative commission that would be obviously involved, you would have to, I would think that, you're leaving a legacy and, that is going to live forever now. I mean, that kind of stuff is forever. And secondly, do you hope to do this again?
Oh, I want to do this again. Like,
Are you
anyone
kidding?
who wants somebody to paint a commission, welcome.
Yeah,
Just
I
call
would
me.
too.
Because honestly, that was the experience of having this on the wall in Sachi and people coming, and the response. It was like, I mean, there were a couple of people who just sat down and just cried.
Wow.
And there was this one woman, and I thought at some point I just felt like, I wonder why, she is so emotional about this. And I sort of, in my brain, I created the story. Like, I thought maybe she lost somebody who used to play the game or something, or it's like a childhood memory, because a lot of, this has been around for 20 years. So it's a lot of people grew up with this game. And then I asked her, I went like, are you, like, oh, can I, I'm the artist. It's like, lovely to have you here, talk to me, and then she went like, I'm crying because it's beautiful. She had no idea what that was. She was just sitting there crying. It's like, it's because it's just so beautiful.
Really, it's touching.
Yeah, it's
touching.
And she became a friend. We became friends on Facebook, and I keep an eye on her. She's great. And but that was just like one of, there were so many people that would just had these memories, and they would, because I tried to be at the gallery quite a lot, and when it was exhibited, I just, talked to a lot of people, and they were just telling me these stories about how they grew up and how they're like, bribed somebody's grandmother to like play on her couch because their parents wouldn't let them and whatever, and everyone was just so moved by how massive and beautiful this was.
Well, let me move people now.
One more quick question before we go to it.
Tim is just okay.
Now, you had mentioned Sam at Xbox had commissioned you to do this. Now, did they give you some direction and just let you kind of like carry the ball, or was they over your shoulder a little bit? Did you?
The direction came in bite size, which was crazy because we didn't have time. So at some point I just took like huge risks. One of the risks was, first of all, they hadn't selected a storyline until maybe like 2 weeks into the project.
Oh.
So they had 2 alternative storyline, which is the entirely different painting. And I went with the wrong story. I started sketching and I created this beautiful sketch of the one they did not select.
Wow.
But I love that. I just love that sketch. So what I did, I put it in my latest painting. So I removed all the Halo references because, it's not Xbox anymore, but like I kept the figures that I envisioned. And that, like everything until maybe 2 weeks prior, most of the things were not approved. I think we had an approved background by week 3 or 4.
Wow.
So we had to repaint the actual halo on the painting. We had to repaint it about 5 times.
Wow.
But that was mostly because I was being a dictator and I was screaming, "It looks like Florida. I don't like it. It cannot look like Florida. It's too sunny. It's too sunny beach."
It is a magnificent project, a beautiful masterpiece, and I want to show the world the beautiful Queen Dr. Iva Troj. Now, your title would be just long. You would just like take a scroll and. So let's check out Halo Infinite, masterpiece by the one and only Dr. Iva Queen Troj.
Wow.
That's what I said. Wow. Like
No,
really,
it makes
wow.
me cry. I couldn't stay when they were filming the choir. When they started singing, I just couldn't stay. I just was so overwhelmed. So I ran outside such a gallery, and I broke down. I started crying, and this woman thought it was something wrong with me. She was like, "Why are you crying?" I said, "No, it's happy tears."
What you most proud of about this whole project? What are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of? I think I'm just incredibly proud that we were able to do exactly what we were hired to do, because when somebody comes and tells you take the entire industry to a level where it's recognized in art form and you go for it, it's like if you deliver something like that, you kind of go, you know what, most people didn't think it was possible. I think even the client didn't even the people from the creative agency that came with Sam, the client, Sam Bateman, they didn't believe it was possible. So they came like maybe 2 or 3 weeks in during the project, and late November, and they were like tearing up, and one was like, "Can I tell you something? I think we all thought that you were full of shit, but like we know that you're not. Now we can see." And we're like all crying because they didn't believe it was possible, because there was so much time until that project and I met each other. It just took, it was very little time left.
It's beautiful. Well done. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
when Queen asked you that question, the first thing that popped into my mind was her ability to lead the team, because this guy Sam gave you a game plan, and now you've got these other people on your team.
She's a leader.
And you were able to execute the game plan, and it's beautiful. I mean, and that's not always easy. Sometimes it's easy to do shit by yourself, excuse me. But when you have to communicate to others your expectations and your visions, and they are able to interpret that's skill. That's
master skill. Come on.
Honestly, I think I almost was about to say that. I think that was what impressed the client the most. They didn't even think, because none of the other artists that were on that list thought ever hiring anyone, because they don't want to share or something. I don't know what the reason is. Or maybe they didn't know somebody. Like, I was lucky because I have these amazing people around me that I can call on. And I used to actually mentor Ellie, who ended up working for me after that, because she's amazing, Ellie James. And the client, they didn't even think that anyone would, hire people for this. And I was like, it's going to be impossible if I don't. It's not something you do alone, not for that amount of time. But also because, like, I am so organized, like, in my process of working, because I've been doing this for a long time. I know what layers are supposed to go where, and I'm incredibly organized, and that makes it much easier for me to delegate some stuff to people that are around me. I'm not too precious about a lot of things. I mean, I just applied for something that is happening in the US, so I hope that they like it, but which is another NDA, sorry, but it's another thing that is very similar to that, where I'm going to open up my entire body of work for other people to use, to do their own, to create their own legacy, which is like no living artist have ever done that.
Wow.
And I got that idea from the Halo project.
Wow. You go, girl. You go. I'm telling you. Keep on soaring and doing what you're doing. I hope you get that project, by the way. One day we are going to share a cup of tea together.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to show you my artwork, because I
need presents.
Yes. I know that music is therapeutic. I love music. Art is therapeutic. Only thing that I do, and I've been doing it to this day since high school, is I make what I call eyeball people. They're just the eyeballs and the expressions from the eyeballs. I can't draw a body, or they'd be eyeballs with a stick, because I can't draw that. But eyeball people, and I have pages and pages of my eyeballs.
With all kinds of expressions, yeah.
It works for me, and in no way will I ever get to your level, but to whatever level it is, if it works for you, it works, and it works for me. But now with you, I can't get inside your head and figure out how you create. I don't know how you do it. You are just blessed with a gift that makes a difference. You touch people with your artwork, with what you do is so crazy. I keep looking at my wall, and I'm telling you, I'm about ready to try and draw some eyeballs on the wall. You're inspiring my artistness in me.
Yeah, wow, you should. I mean,
no, don't encourage that.
No, don't really. No, I will.
Okay.
Do not encourage that.
I swear, because he'll come home like, what's that? I start drawing flowers all over the wall. But that's okay. But what kind of movies do you like? That's what I want to know.
Oh, I'm a big sci-fi fan.
Yeah.
Anything that has a lot of layers and meaning and things. And I like, oh my God, I mean, one of my favorite movies ever is The Fifth Element.
Aha. So I get it.
I love movies like that, and I love real stories. I absolutely loved the most recent film I saw, Everything Everywhere All at Once. That was amazing.
I don't know that one. You know that one?
No,
Oh, it's amazing. It's kind of like a beautiful, almost like a little bit magic, kung fu, everything. Story about
Yeah,
depression.
I
At the
love
end of the
that.
day, it's about handling depression.
So,
So it's a beautiful, beautiful film.
what is the title of it
And
again?
I take
everything
my
everywhere.
music incredibly seriously as well. It's like I listen to music all the time, and I have like favorites. I
What's
was
your
listening
favorite?
to, yeah. Oh, right now, right now I'm actually listening to Pedro Janela, which is this amazing composer, piano player, Portuguese,
Yes.
we were introduced by one of his best friends, and when I was in Paris doing the show, and I just can't get it out of my head. I was sitting listening to it, and I'm always listening to stuff like again and again and again on a loop until people around me start feeling sick. So
Wait,
it was like,
now what propounds the off-topic question?
go.
Do you play a musical instrument?
Oh, I wish I did. I tried when I was little, but I never really. But I used to manage I used to have a little record label, and I used to manage a band like about over a decade ago, and I enjoyed that
Wow.
enormously. Just, I understood quite early that when you dedicate yourself to something full on, there is not a lot of and you're like single mother, and you're working, and you do
Mm-hmm.
all these other things. You can't be like best at everything. You can't all of a sudden decide to be a music. Like, I might do that when things calm down for me. When I'm maybe a lot older, I'll learn to play the piano.
You just seem to be an artistically expressive individual, whether it be on the canvas or on the keyboard, I guess. I was just asking that question.
Oh, I think like I have a bit of an imposter syndrome, like a lot of creative people. So until I master something, I feel like I almost don't enjoy it. So that's like looking at me trying to learn to dance a certain dance. It's painful. It's,
Well, I'm a championship seat dancer. I just sit in the seat and
whoa.
pop it. Yeah, use your imagination to see what dance that was, okay? But
This is so funny. A friend of mine talked me into going to a twerking class, and I'm like, oh my God, look at all the white people twerking.
oh my gosh, listen. There's some white. No, say that if you
And I'm
will. But
waiting
there's
for
some
that.
white people that Mexican, whatever, they can really twerk. But when I go out in the clubs, I'm gonna keep it real. Me and my girlfriends, when we're my white girlfriends, we don't have no booty, so we watch them twerk, and we be on the other side, what we call tweaking. We just tweak,
Oh.
just a little bit tweak tweak. We can't pop it like that. But you
Can't clap that booty.
no, but it's
Now I'm
no.
waiting. I have about a quarter of Egyptian blood, so I'm kind of waiting on the dance floor, waiting for that to kick in, and it doesn't
Yeah.
always happen.
All right.
I love dancing. It's my favorite thing, and I think I'm a pretty good, okay dancer. But
Hey, you know what? If you
like,
can do
I
it,
can do no twerking.
no, me neither can I. But it doesn't stop me from trying. It be their little sound. What's that sound? That's our little butts tweet, 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 tweet. But listen, give me some words. Give me some words to live by, or your favorite motto.
Oh wow, words to live by. I was saying before, always trying to live your life with, like, react to adversities, especially with humility and grace, and don't not take other people's time and attention for granted ever. And I don't believe in individual genius. I believe in the ecology of talent. I don't think artists or anyone who is, I think we all are raised by our ecology of talent. So, like this idea that there are geniuses out there to sit on a mountain looking down on people, that to me just doesn't feel right. And I believe in that ecology of talent that raises us. So I'm always kind of trying to make, and the Halo project is a perfect example of that. I made it a project that was handled by the ecology of talent rather than just me on my own. That's how I kind of process all my work. I've had so much fun having an assistant in my studio. I love it. It's like little family in here.
Yeah, that's all right. And shout out and hats off to your team, because teamwork is important to have someone on your side, on your team with that vision and handling business. A beautiful masterpiece of art. What do you have next? What are you doing next? Because I know you're busy, bee.
I mean, I'm doing a series of portraits of people I admire because I just thought not like a while ago I've done a couple portraits of people I love, like family members, like my daughter and stuff, and of course there's like a lot of meaning and feeling and all that, but I just thought there are certain people that have something special, and I wanted to do like proper big royal portraits of them, like queens and kings, and just do it, just give them that credit because. And I started with a drug world royalty that we have here in Brighton called like a Torchoplat, who is this amazing drag queen, and like he's like this big beautiful black man with a beard full of glitter and big eyelashes, and he's such a, I mean, beautiful, and like this big softy, and you can just like taste his energy. So childlike sense of wonder. So my way of like portraying childlike sense of wonder was basically making a portrait of him.
Why
So
not
I
a
made
big giant
this
portrait of you?
I'm sorry.
Why not a big giant portrait of you on a throne or wearing a crown or something?
Because I don't see myself like that. If I do that, I will have like animals sleeping on my head and children crawling up my feet. I would not. I don't see myself like, you know. I mean, when I had my first successful show in the United States in like outside San Francisco, I had this really good show, and I sold like a lot of the work. I on that opening and actually asked actor friend to pretend to be me. I don't like being there. Like, and it was quite an interesting show to watch. I mean, I don't do that because I'm like nowadays I've learned how to do that, and I take such pleasure in just talking to people. But there was a moment in time when I did my first show like centrally in London. It was like, yeah, I just like I want to be loved and not worshipped, that kind of thing. I know
Yeah.
it's silly, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. There's some weird needs in me to just like connect to people, I think.
That's all right. You have a gift and keep doing it. I love your work. I am honored that you took the time to be here on the show. I
And it was
enjoyed my
such pleasure.
conversation and I enjoyed your artwork. I enjoyed the laughter. Tell everybody where they can go to get more from Queen Dr. Iva Troj.
Oh, and I mean, this surprise you had for me, I mean, I teared up. That was, my God, I'm going to replay and watch it again and again. And I'm going to send it to Xbox.
Okay, all right.
If that's
Well,
okay.
they should love it, and I'm going to let my grandson. I'm going to let them all know that you've seen it because that's a big thing. Is she going to see it? Yes, she's going to see it. So I put it together.
But you know how kids are.
Yeah, and when they come over, I'm going to let them sit and watch and prove it. See, I told you. There it is. So they feel like they are already accomplished artists.
Why don't you send me an email? I'll send him a little drawing or something.
Okay, that'll be great. That'll be absolutely great. So tell everybody how you can be followed on social media.
Oh, it's my name. Like Instagram is the one where I put most effort. Like I put a lot of new stuff there. It's Iva Troj, just my name, one. Yeah, at Iva Troj, just one word. It's mostly Instagram. I do a little bit of Twitter and just some Facebook, but yeah, Instagram is where I put a lot of videos. A lot of time I'm planning on doing a lot of videos of me working, so people can kind of like look at tricks and different things that I do. Maybe they can learn from it.
Yes.
A lot of the stuff that was bitten into me in communist art school.
That's all right.
That they won't teach you anywhere.
That's all right. Oh wow. Okay, listen. I want to replay that. I want to go out and replay that, if you will. The Halo Infinite it's worthy of me going out again with it. Are you kidding? But I do want to thank you for taking the time to be on the show. We're going to be in touch with you because I hope to have you back on again. Who knows? I may have a class of people sitting right here waiting to talk to you. You never know. You're just so great, and I appreciate you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Good evening. It's evening there, but have a good evening. Yes. And we most definitely will be in touch with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I mean,
you
this
as
is
well.
wonderful.
Hey, let's check out Halo Infinite Masterpiece by the one and only
Thank
Queen.
you, Tim.
Thank you.
Queen Dr. Iva Troj. Yeah.
Hang on. And here we go.
Yes. Yes. Enjoy.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, I am in love with that artwork. Ooh, I'm telling you, I am gonna tear this wall up over here. Listen, Iva Troj has inspired me to just make this wall my canvas. I can't even. I keep looking at this wall
again,
like,
Queen.
ooh, I'm gonna put some eyeballs all over this wall. I'm not even kidding.
What can I put up there to prevent that?
But you know what? I advise you to please. As a matter of fact, the better, easy way to get in touch to view some magnificent artwork from Dr. Iva Troj is Google her. She is a superstar indeed. Just Google Iva
indeed.
Troj. You're going to find her. I'm telling you that. Go to Instagram, Facebook, wherever you need to do. The artwork is so beautiful. If you are in a mood, you know, you're like, oh, I'm in a go grab some artwork and stare at it. Let that artwork touch you. Let it talk to you. Feel the work that's behind that. Oh my goodness. Ooh, I wish I could do that, but you know, I got eyeballs for sale.
No, I've always enjoyed art. You know, I've always had an appreciation for art.
Dr. Iva Troj is the name over in United Kingdom doing some great work. Hey, follow her.
Yeah. No, you know, my mom drew. She could draw anything.
Yeah.
My a neighbor, he was a professor at the university. He was in the art department, professor of art. And I mean, just always around art. And I always appreciated and loved people that could put stuff down on canvas, freehand. It's amazing sometimes.
It really is.
Well, it's a nice talent. Like I said, it's nice to have that talent, and you can put it from your brain to hand. Some people can do it with a brush. Some people can do it with a musical instrument. Some people can do it with a pen and make a difference in this world.
Some people don't know they're possessed with that skill right there until someone sees that little nick in you, that motivation. And
that's why I asked her about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we play school with the kids. You know, sometimes you can learn some things from children and vice versa. And, you know, don't ever come over my house and tell me you're bored, because we're going to do some stuff. I will find some things to keep your mind, to keep you going active. We enjoyed the art project this weekend. It was just so cute. I had to show her this work, and, you know, hey, it is what it is. But listen, I want you to know that I thank you so much for taking the time and being here on this terrific Tuesday with the Queen Silvy Show and Smooth Tim. It doesn't stop here. We bring the best in live entertainment, talents, and topics 3 days a week with 3 different shows. Tomorrow evening, Tim's Tidbits, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Thursday, the almighty Now You Know Show with Queen Silvy and Smooth Tim. In fact, we have a new segment beginning this Thursday, joining in with the team for the Now You Know Show. You are so in for a treat. Peaceful Gems is the name of her segment, and I'm not going to tell you more. You have to tune in Thursday and get some of that super greatness, because that is what it's all about. Smooth, before I go, because you know that Queen Silvy is fasting in the morning, and right now she's ready to feed her face and eat. But before I do, tell everybody how we can be followed.
We can be followed by simply Googling us. Just drop the Queen Silvy Show into Google, and you will have all kinds of returns on multiple ways that you could follow the Queen and myself. So pick your favorite. We like to make it easy for you.
That's right. That's right.
But if you'd really like to get to us, go to our YouTube page and drop in the Queen Silvy Show. And while you're there, subscribe. Then you can watch absolutely everything we do because
that's what we do.
that's what we do, though.
That's what we do. Hey, you know what? I think I'm going to eat my great lunch. Then I'm going to pop on some music. Then I'm going to try and do that twerking again because, I just tweaking. Then I'm going to take this wall and draw some pictures on it. Yeah.
But when you tweak, you make the chair squeak.
Yeah, I can pop and make a chair squeak, but, I can't dance. People think all little black girls can dance. Honey, I can't dance. But I can seat dance.
You got 2 left feet.
Well, don't worry about that.
Okay.
See, I'm in a seat. You don't even know it. You don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just pop your shoulders and do it.
Okay.
But enough is enough, for I must go and eat. So,
yes, we must.
With that said,
we must. And so until next week.
That's right.
Same Queen time.
Absolutely.
Same Queen station. Queen Silvy and I will holla. Bye.
Bye.
Of the multiple award-winning The Queen Silvy Show. You want to expand and get noticed? Then come outside your box and into our world. Internet advertising has a real impact on global awareness and even sales, so let's make an impact together. Offering for a limited time advertising and sponsorship packages that excel your purpose. So contact Queen Silvy or Smooth Tim for the exciting opportunities that awaits. Yeah.